Welcome back to the last segment of the Hindu's Thought Conclave, the Huddle, presented by Yes Bank and powered by SRM University. Please welcome Ms. PV Sindhu, professional badminton player for India, and Mr. Prem Panicker, journalist and editor. In the session, Crafting Success, the Rise and Rise of PV Sindhu. This session is brought to you by Steel Authority of India Limited.
You're not a Steel Authority model, no? Yeah. You are? Yeah. Okay, that's right. So, according to protocol, I'm supposed to start this by introducing the guest. I'm not going to do that because in what world does PV Sindhu need an introduction? So, give it up for India's star badminton player. In the introduction, you probably heard that the theme of the session is the rise and rise of PV Sindhu. Many ways of chronicling or cataloging that rise. You could list all the titles that she has won, the tournaments that she has won recently. You could look at her win-loss record. For instance, Sindhu in 2017, among the many records that she broke, one of them was that she won 44 Super Series matches, which breaks Saina Nehwal's 2013 record of 42. Or you could talk of the fact that one of the few things that India and China agree on is that Sindhu is a hugely talented player, because you find hoardings featuring Sindhu on China highways just like you find them here. But my favorite yardstick for assessing Sindhu's rise is this. In 2016, when she won the silver in Rio, the governments of, let's see, Delhi, Haryana, Madhya Pradesh, Telangana and Andhra Pradesh announced awards. The Badminton Federation of India, the Indian Olympic Committee, the Ministry of Youth Affairs also announced awards. Sachin Tendulkar announced a BMW. Salman Khan announced an award. All of this happened in 2016. In 2017, Sindhu had the best year of her career so far, and it's a very, she's still in the early days of her career, and it is still a stellar year. Nobody announced awards because, you know, she's winning so often and so prolifically that, yeah. So, Sindhu, at the start of 2017, you said you had 2 items on your to-do list. You wanted to win a Super Series title, and you wanted to change your 2 bronze medals at the, by the way, she has 2 bronze medals at the World Championship. She's now the only player to have 3 medals at the World Championships. You wanted to change the color of that medal. And by any yardstick, you overachieved. You had 2 Super Series titles. One was the Indian Open, one was the Hong Kong Open, the Korean Open. You came second in Hong Kong, and you also came second in the year-end finals. Right, the Dubai Super Series. And on top of that, you also converted your bronze into silver, which is overachievement by any standard. So what's your to-do list like in 2018?
Well, first of all, good evening, everybody, and apologies from my side because I came late here. The flight got delayed, so I had to come late. Yes, I think there is a lot to do in 2018, and I feel this is only the starting and there's more way to go on. And I think this year there's been Commonwealth Games, Asian Games, and some more tournaments have added up, like Premier Super Series. So definitely I would want to win some more Super Series and the Commonwealth Games and also the Asian Games and the next upcoming All England as well. So aiming for higher events, but yeah, I think I have to give my best in all the tournaments I can.
All the things that Sindhu just listed is to be accomplished in 10 months and 10 days. It's usually enough for a lifetime. But Sindhu, there were two games that, people have been following your play regularly. And thanks to it being televised, it becomes much easier. There were two games that captured the public imagination more than most of the other games. One was the Rio Olympics, the match against Marin. The other one was the Glasgow match.
World Championships.
Yeah, the Ozume Okuhara game. Those who understand badminton, one of the common things they say is that there was a dramatic change in your play between these two matches. In Rio, we saw the angry Sindhu, the combative Sindhu for the first time. And by the time you came to Glasgow, your game had developed tremendously in just that 6-month period. Besides your power, there was deception, there was the ability to last for those long matches and long rallies and all that. Was that something specific that you worked on? What actually happened during those 8 odd months between these two?
Well, definitely a lot of changes happened. Like when it came to the game-wise, I mean, as you know, strategy plays a very important role.
Right.
And with each and every player, it's comparatively different. Like when I talk about Carolina at the Olympics, she's a very aggressive player. Like
Sure.
when it comes to Okuhara, she's a rally player. And where you have seen there were like a lot more of rallies happening there
Yeah.
in the World Championships. So definitely game-wise, badminton as a sport, and especially in the women's circuit, it has changed a lot. Now it is more of like where the games are actually extending like for 1 hour, 1.5 hours, 2 hours
Yeah.
probably. So where we have to actually maintain our fitness and endurance. That is very important. Before it was like more of comparatively compared to 2016 Olympics and then the World Championships, it was more of like a rally play rather than just hitting and finishing the shuttle.
Right.
So the game has increased, I can say, and I feel strategies makes it more different with each player.
You made the point about, so was that what the hard work went in between Rio and this thing about extending the...
I had to work on each and every stroke because, when I lost at the Olympics, it's not just that, definitely I've done very well, but there was a lot more to learn. And every day is a new start. Every day you keep on learning new things.
Right.
So for me, it was a learning process all the time, and I kept on learning. And when it came to World Championships, I think I improved on each stroke very much. So, yeah.
And added a lot more new strokes to your repertoire.
Yes, definitely.
Sindhu, you were what, 18 years? In 2013, you became a top 10 player, right?
Yeah.
At the age of 18. And last year you had your highest ranking, number 2.
Number 2.
Which you held for about 6 months or so.
Yeah.
You were number 2. One of the things that connoisseurs of badminton talk about is the fact that in the men's game, there's Victor Axelsen, and then there's a whole lot of daylight, and then the other players. The women's game has got a whole heap of very talented players at the top.
Yeah.
You've got Yamaguchi, you've got Carolina, you've got Okuhara, there is Taizu Ying, there's Saina, there's you. When it gets to that kind of thing where the competition is so tough, and there's very little separating the players, how hard does each event become?
Well, talking especially about the women's singles, it's become really tough. I mean, you never know. Like, anything can happen any moment. I can just say that the top 20 players are at the same standard. And, you need to give your best in each match from the starting. It's not just that, maybe first round might be easy or second round, you could just play a 50%. But it's rather just that, you have to just give your 100% at each time and from the first match. So you just can't take it easy that, okay, maybe she's a 28th ranked player or, 15th ranked player. But even though if I'm in top 2 or top 3, I still play the same way against 20th ranked player or 30th ranked player.
So there are no easy games for you anymore?
Yeah, I think you shouldn't take it easy at any movement. Yeah.
Right. But at the same time, so a lot of this, when that kind of thing happens, when your competition is all equal, one of the things that happens is that skill has got very little to do with it. Yeah, you have to play at your most skillful. But a lot of it is in the mind as well, right? I mean, it's who's switched on and who's feeling fit. I think in Dubai, you had a small cold or something, and that affected your breathing, which then cost you that match. When it comes to that kind of very marginal play, does it add to the pressures that you face, or is it just one more of those things that you have to cope with?
I think mentally and physically we need to keep ourselves fit. And when it comes to the match, definitely yes. When you tend to lose points, mentally you need to think, what's next.
Right.
But, physically also, if the matches are going like 1 hour or so, that endurance is really very much important for every player. And as you said, in Dubai, yes, I was having a bit of cold, but it doesn't take me to pressure or something, but it was just that one of the matches that, it just happened that I just lost it. But I think there is a lot more to learn from that, because, like those long matches will really help me to learn from my mistakes.
Talking of long matches, you've made a habit of playing these long matches. No? Sindhu played the second longest match in women's badminton, the 110-minute epic against Okuhara. You again played Okuhara and had some long rallies, 53 stroke.
In Korea.
In Korea.
Yeah.
There was something that I read was that after Rio, and particularly at the start of the year, you started working on fitness, among other things, by playing 3 against 1 with Srikanth and Sai Praneeth and all that on the other side of the net. And is that something that you were doing?
Yeah, I mean, it in one way, it's really good that, I get to play with different players at the academy, because they're like, 10 to 15 boys there.
Sure.
So it's really helpful for me. They make me play, and that's really good. And yeah, definitely fitness plays a very important role, and I am working on it. So maybe I can just say that really helped me at the World Championships and also other matches which actually went so long.
Right. Yeah. Because you won both the long rallies at the in Glasgow.
Yeah.
One of the towards the end of last year, there was this little bit of controversy when the World Badminton Federation released its calendar. Like you pointed out at the beginning, the premier games have been added. You are now supposed to play 12 Super Series.
Yeah.
On top of that, you have to play the Asian, you have to play the Commonwealth, and you have to play the All England.
Yeah, World Championships.
The World Championships. Yeah. I remember that when this calendar was introduced, Victor Axelsen said that he was very unhappy. I think Gopichand said that he didn't much like the calendar. He was fairly mild about his comments. Saina was very definite. She said there is no time for recovery and stuff like that. But you've been sort of balanced. You said it is what it is and I have to do whatever I have to do.
I think yes, because you after the calendar has come out, you actually can't do anything about it.
Sure.
Because it's already decided. And other thing is, you have to know which tournament to play and what not to play, because you know yourself that if you're fit, then you will go and play. If you feel that you're not 100% fit, you have to just decide yourself. So you need to just know which tournament to play, and that is how it is. Because if you don't play any other tournaments like Super Series or stuff, I think there are many other junior players who can actually go into it and just play some of the tournaments. But you should know which tournament to play and what to play and what not to play. So you'll have to actually discuss it with your coach and then just go for it. I think that's the only way, because you actually can't fight it out rather than thinking that no, this is not the way. But it's already come out, so you just can't do anything about it.
So it's basically a matter of reading your own fitness levels and being selective about.
Yeah.
But you don't have much of a margin for being selective, right? You have to play 12.
Yeah, I have to play 12. So I know injuries are part of life, but you have to actually just focus on your fitness and get fit and be ready for everything.
Because one of the things that you have said is that, increasingly you hate to lose. So
Anybody hates to lose.
Well, true, but I mean, it shows nowadays. Earlier, you used to smile and shrug it off and stuff like that, but now you can actually make out that you have a lot more invested in the results. So sometimes you end up going into a tournament because you have to play the tournament, but you're not fit enough for it. What happens? Do you just coast, or do you try and do the best in a few?
Well, if I'm actually not fit and, not feeling well, or any injury or something like that, I rather skip instead of just going and just just play. Because, you will have that feeling that, I am not playing my 100%. You will have that, you'll be upset in one way that, you're going for a tournament and you're just not playing your best. So rather just stay back and then keep yourself fit and just do your training and get fit and
go for the next one.
another tournament.
Yeah. More broadly on badminton, somewhere in the mid-1950s, I think we had a player called Nandu Natekar, the first of the badminton players who actually got a name. You had to wait 30 years before Prakash Padukone, 1980, became the world number one. Then you had to wait another 21 years before Gopi Chand also won the All England. So once a generation, badminton has produced one great player. And they say about sport that unless you have stars playing, people who can inspire others to play the sport and stuff like that, sport won't come up. Indian badminton has only had one star every, say, generation until now. And now suddenly there's this explosion, this efflorescence of talent. There's you, there's Saina, there's Sai Pranit, there is Parupalli Kashyap, Srikanth Kidambi is playing. Even the world junior number 2, Lakshya Sen is from here. And it's happening on both the men's and the women's. What actually brought out this sudden explosion of talent as opposed to earlier when you had one player at a time?
Well, definitely I can say there are so many legends, in the 80s that, there was Prakash sir, and then after some more years, Vimal, and then there are great players. I know they might have not won so many matches or got results, but there are many great players if we can talk about them. And also Gopi sir has, after 20 years, he'd won the All England Championships. And after that, definitely I can tell you that there are many players now, today, who are doing exceptionally really well. And talking about Saina, she's got very good recognition, and after her, we all are, coming up at that stage and that level. And even talking about men's, you can see Srikanth Kidambi, who's winning like so many super series, and Sai Pranit and Kashyap and Pranoy. So it's good in one way. Badminton as a sport has been increasing, and it's good for the youngsters, I can say, who look up to us and, actually do much better. Because as you said, there's Lakshya Sen in the junior circuit, and there are many players who are coming up. Maybe they're not in the world ranking right now, but I can really assure you that in the coming years, there will be a lot more coming up.
Oh, you will be playing against some of them in your academy, so
definitely,
you should know,
yes.
right?
There are many youngsters, maybe not one or two, but a lot more.
But, I mean, you did talk about the fact that having all these players is inspirational, and that helps you take to the sport, and therefore more and more players come up. At the same time, how much has the ecosystem helped? You now have players like Prakash and Gopi who know what it is to play at the highest level. They're running their own academies. They know how to coach and to train and stuff like that. So do you think the infrastructure development is also one part of the reason for this?
Definitely.
To what extent?
Yes, definitely. And, if you see that, there are many coaches who've put on the academies, like Prakash sir, like Gopi sir, and in different cities. So it's, in one way, it is really very good that, there are academies coming everywhere. And I prefer that there will be many more academies coming forward, and so that, the players who are actually doing well actually can join the academies and improve themselves, learning, taking an inspiration from the young, ranked players like, Saina or me or, Srikanth or any of them. So it's good that, infrastructure is also very important. Like me being in Gopi Chand Academy, I think it's really good there, and like that it should be in other cities as well. Like one is in Bangalore, and there should be many more academies. That's what I feel, so that there will be many more players actually coming up and joining the academies and improving themselves.
Do you see an increase in interest in say the private sector in creating these kind of academies and sponsoring them and all that? Because I remember Gopi, even 2-3 years back, he has talked in an interview about how difficult it is to find the financing for these kind of academies, to bring in top coaches from abroad and stuff like that. Is that changing, or is it still the same situation?
I think it is changing now, because if you see in our academy, like we've been getting Indonesian coaches or coaches from other countries. So it is really very important, I think, in one way, so that the players actually tend to learn a lot more, because every coach has a different mindset.
Sure.
So it's actually good that you have to get coaches from outside. I know it is financially a bit tough, but I think now the government is really very supportive and actually supporting in this way. And when you talk about infrastructure as well, and for us especially, for me, I think we've not been asking them, but actually they've been providing a lot more that we wanted.
Could you give us some kind of example of what you're talking about?
Well, I think the infrastructure when it comes to when we wanted a gym equipment or the coach's side or a physio side. So it was all provided whichever or whenever we asked for it. So it was nothing like we asked for it and they were like, okay, fine, we'll do it, and they've not done it.
Which is what used to happen before.
Yeah, but now it has really improved a lot. And I think it should start from the grassroots level. Like when I talk about infrastructure and the academies, the players tend to think that, okay, fine, when we join the academy, they want to become a player. But rather than thinking that, I think you have to start from the grassroots level, and they have to keep learning and start learning from the school level. And also it should be there in their schools that, this is what it is. It's not just that players think, okay, fine, Sindhu is playing in this academy or Saina is playing in this academy, and if we join, you will also become. I know it is really very tough, and we know it took a lot of hard work and so many years to come up.
Right.
So they should know that, and they should actually see themselves, working so much and come up.
Talking of work, how in between matches, obviously you have the schedules and the scheduled matches and stuff like that. How much of work do you put in on an average day?
For me, it's practice sessions almost like 6 to 7 hours a day. So yeah.
Okay, that's a working day. And besides the practice, there's also the gym work and the
so it
fitness.
depends. Like, if we do training in the morning, maybe in the evenings we'll have on court, or if we do morning on court, in the evenings we have training. So yeah.
Yeah. One of the things that they also say about sports development is that the more sports is visible, that is, it's being telecast and people can watch it and stuff like that, the more there is an interest in that, and therefore more and more people take to the sport. We did mention the fact that badminton is increasingly televised. All your games are available to us to watch in real time. But the badminton league, which also is one of your commitments, how much has that helped? You get to see all the best players in the world. I mean, I've seen Thai play more in India than on the circuit.
Yes.
How much does that help, do you think, the fact that you have this exposure to world-class talent right here?
Well, definitely league matches will help a lot, because it's comparatively different. I feel the environment is comparatively different because it's a team event. It's not an individual sport, and you get to learn from the other foreign players, and we all as a group have to play, for our team.
Right.
So it's very different. And when we play against other team, there are foreign coaches sitting, and as I said, the mindset is comparatively different. When you compare to the Indian coaches or any other coach, because each coach might have a different thinking in their mind.
Sure.
So in one way, it really helps each and every player, and not only for us, but I think for the youngsters, it's a lot more like an experience, and they get to see the top ranked players.
You're talking of the young kids in your teams itself who get to practice against some of the best players.
And also, you will learn a lot more while looking at the matches.
Right.
So I think, when you play in different cities in India, like this year in the Jan, we've been traveling all over.
Correct.
Like Chennai, Delhi, Lucknow, and everywhere. So, the players who are really coming up, they will get to see the top players, and actually for them, it's a very good experience, and they get to learn a lot more from them as well.
So you don't find that a burden, because it also comes at the year end where you have two Super Series tournaments to play in, and you have the PBL.
Yeah, PBL is, anyways, we have to play. And, playing in the home ground, it really feels happy that, there's support always, and you will actually have to enjoy it. So
I just want to go back to that schedule. Like you said, 12 Super Series, Commonwealth, Asian,
World Championships,
All England, PBL.
Yeah.
We are so enraptured by the kind of results you get and the kind of, victories and stuff that sometimes it's easy to forget that you're just a 22-year-old. I was curious, do you ever have time for anything called a personal life?
Well, it's actually a bit tough, but I really enjoy, so I don't take it as a burden, and age is really not a matter to think about, because, there are many people who are doing really well, so I don't think that, or I don't feel that, okay, I'm just 22, because, if I think that it's only 22 and there's more way to go on, you never know where will you be. So,
right.
Yeah.
But to go right back to that question, Other than badminton, you pretty much have very little time for most of the usual hobbies, and what do you do?
Normally, from Monday till Saturday, there's training sessions going on, and apart from tournaments, and maybe on Sundays, I just get a rest time and maybe spend time with my family or just stay at home, because that is the day where I actually get rest and I want to just be at home and take sleep or take a massage or something like that. But apart from that, I like traveling, so I anyways travel a lot, and I like music, so.
You could keep asking Sindhu questions for the rest of the evening, but she has a flight to catch, and I know a lot of you guys have questions. There are actually hands going up before I even said this, so Sindhu, we'll get them too. The gentleman in the blue shirt, please.
Ever since I saw one match, I think, which you were playing with, I think, Carolina, the referee continuously was warning you, if you remember that match.
Warning her?
Warning you.
Warning me.
I think you were taking a little longer time than expected.
With Okuhara. I think with Okuhara,
Maybe. Oh, okay. Was it a strategy, or actually you were feeling tired?
Maybe some people are thinking it as a strategy, or some might think I'm actually wasting time. It's up to them, their way of thinking. So I would rather keep it to them, because when it comes to matches, maybe sometimes I feel it might be a strategy, or sometime you should actually take time to think for a point, for the next point. When you tend to lose points continuously, you rather take a break and then. But I think at that point of time, at the World Championships, it is referee's call, or he might think something, but I feel it was something wrong from his side, because, we were actually playing long rallies, and even she was taking break and even I was taking, but actually referee didn't like me, I guess, so he was actually warning me a lot of times, more than her, so yeah.
Yeah, the lady, sorry.
Yes, welcome again, Sindhu. Physical fitness as an antidote for our public health crisis, that is obesity. So we want role model like you to motivate the younger generation. See, at the moment, roughly 15% of the younger generation are obese. It ravages not only their physical health but also the psychological well-being. So could you please spearhead this movement so that everybody does not 7 hours at least?
Yeah, definitely, yes. I think fitness, not talking about fitness, but exercise is very important for everybody. And not like 7 hours, as you said, but maybe just 40 minutes or 1 hour at least. Because, everybody will go for office, or they might be having some work, or they go in the morning and come in the evening really very tired. But I would just suggest that maybe like in the morning, just an exercise like for 1 hour. So I think definitely doing it every day, not just one day, but maybe if you actually practice it for every day, I think definitely you will keep yourself fit. And not only fitness, but it also comes when you eat healthy, and because sometimes.
Sindhu, are there foods that you want to eat and you don't because of?
Yeah.
Which?
Yeah, food is also important aspect, because for us. Oily food is very much restricted, and not more of junk. But yeah, I would not say that completely no, but yeah, once in a while is fine. Everybody would have that craving for a chocolate or ice cream or pizzas and burgers. Okay. So once in a while is okay, but mostly you need to have very healthy food, like, the green leafy vegetables or protein. Yeah, so it is very important to keep yourself fit.
How has your relationship with your coach and mentor evolved? There was a certain journey that brought you to a point at the center of the world stage. And then as you're reaching, because you're still so young, and as you're reaching for another horizon, how has the relationship evolved? How contributory it is?
Definitely, coach plays a very important role, and his contribution is a lot. Because talking about Olympics, I think he actually worked hard as much as I did, and more actually. But the journey has been really good so far, and the most important thing is I think you need to trust each other, and you need to believe that you can do it. And actually, the coach also believes in you that you can do it, and definitely I've proved myself. And I'm very thankful to my coach because he's been really trusting me, and he had belief in me that I can do it, and I have much more confidence, and he had much more confidence in me that I can go so far. So I'm really very thankful to him that he actually trusted me.
Ma'am, I'll come to you in a second, but since the question was about coaches, you've just lost your Indonesian coach, has gone back.
Yeah. Mulyo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Does that change things in any way? Because
I think as so far, when he was there, it's been really good, and we've got so many medals, men and women. And after he came, there was a lot more change in our game and the fitness and everything. But it was his choice that he's gone back. But yeah, it's been good that we've got some change in our games. But now I think there's not much of difference because we have been practicing and we know what it is.
Right.
So I think it's fine so far.
you haven't got your replacement yet, right?
No, there are some of the Indonesian coaches. So,
Right.
yeah.
Ma'am?
Hi, Sindhu.
Hi.
See, you're so young and you're the darling of a nation of 1 billion people. When you are playing on court, the whole country is cheering for you. But off court, sometimes it can be very overwhelming at this young age, this adulation, this fan following. But you look like a girl who's got her feet very firmly in the ground, even as you're soaring so high. How has this happened? Is it your upbringing? Is it the values? How are you coping with this?
Well, I'm really very happy because, before Olympics, my life was comparatively very much different. And after Olympics, it is very different. My life has changed a lot. And, having this fan following and being in the limelight, I'm really enjoying it. And, when it comes to advertisements here, going there, going for events, I know sometimes, people might feel, I think, she is actually not liking it or something like that. But I do really like it and I really enjoy it. But I think my dad is here, so he has always told me one thing that, no matter how high you are or no matter how high you're going, you always have to be grounded. So I think that's really very important and I really follow it and I really feel that for every person who's really achieved a lot should always be grounded because you have come up from that stage where you're really low. And when you go to a certain stage where, you're in the limelight and you're top of the world, I think you never, you never have to look down, but when it comes to your life, you always have to think that you have come up from that stage. So, thank you.
One of the things that you have been enjoying post Rio is this whole fashion thing. Dressing up and stuff like that. Is that because you have to do it or is it something you love doing? I
mean, something apart from badminton, like you just switch off and you go to the other side because being a girl, I really like to dress up. So,
Yeah, I'm Sanjeev. My question is what's your message for the young kids, the school, like you told, no? How they should start focusing on their career as a badminton, which is a more brings the laurels for the country and for the individual. And second thing is, what all the sacrifices you have made to reach to that level, including all on your personal. Many of us are not aware. So can you throw on that?
Yeah, one of the main thing is that I think parents' support is the most important thing I feel because I know the children also should the girl or boy should actually know that in which sport or whether they are interested or not. So the parents should know that first. And when the child is actually interested in badminton or any other sport, they should actually support them in whichever way they want to. Because nowadays, now it's been much more clear that, parents are actually supporting their children in sports. But before it was just that, they want their children to be a doctor or an engineer. But now actually many parents are actually aiming that my son or daughter wants to be a badminton player or a cricket player or any different sport. So when it comes to that, parents' support is the most important thing, and children should be very much focused, and a lot more of hard work is needed. When you talk about sacrifices, I've done a lot more sacrifices in my life because, in the starting, it was really very tough for my parents because, both my parents were working in railway. So for my sake, my mom had to give VRS, and we had to shift our house. Before, I had to travel like 27 kilometers up and down, and again in the evening 27 and coming back 27. So it was a bit tough, but my parents actually, I can just say that my parents sacrificed a lot more than me, and we had shifted our house so that, for me, it might be really very comfortable, to go back to stadium and come back so that I would rest a lot more. And after that, my dad recently had given VRS for me so that they get to travel with me, like, with different countries so that they can actually take care of me. So there's a lot more sacrifices here and there. I know ups and downs are always there in life for everybody, but that is how life is, and you have to just believe in yourself. When I was really young, nobody knew that, I would become an Olympic silver medal, or nobody knew that I would come so far. So, my parents has always believed in me, and I would like to thank them because, some of the parents think that, or some of the colleagues or neighbors feel that, neither badminton nor studies, what is she going to do at some point of time.
Did you have that?
I'm doing my MBA second year right now, so.
Yeah, I know, but in your circle, did you get that thing of why is she playing all the time?
When I started playing, initially, some of the colleagues, my parents didn't tell me, but when my mom actually said it in one of the interviews, till then I didn't know actually. So some of them said, but as I said, they always had belief in me that no, she would do something better in her life, and that is how I'm here. So I would really like to thank them.
The gentleman in the back. You want to talk about your friendships? Carolina?
Yeah, hi Sindhu.
Hi.
My question is very short and sweet. It's like the game is all about mental fitness. So how do you prepare for it? Because in these days, who are on top, like Carolina Marin or Okuhara, they look very fit mentally. So how do you train to become fit? Because you're in that league now.
Yeah, mentally and physically, you need to keep yourself fit. And when it comes to mentally, it should actually be, when you start practicing or when you're practicing, you always have to give your 100%, not just that one day, but every day you have to trust in yourself that I can do much more better every day, and every day is a new start, and you have to keep on improving yourself. So it's not just that, I won a silver medal and everything is over and I've got everything, but I think, practice makes man perfect. So I feel that is only the starting for me, and there's more way to go on, even though after Olympics, and I still kept on improving myself because, it's not just over that, I won a medal and, it's done for the day or it's done for my life. But there are many more medals that I have to get, and that's what I feel. And as I said, mentally, you have to just think that when you're going into the court that you can do, because you have practiced so much that you know what it is, and you think that, okay, I've practiced so much and I have to just give my full efforts. I know sometimes it's really tough that tournament, when it comes to tournament, you just can't give your 100% because you would have that pressure in you, and there are many people looking at you, and there will be many more expectations. Rather than thinking that and getting much more pressure, it's just that just go onto the court and give your best and play your game.
So for the last couple of minutes, Sindhu and I have been looking at this clock that's staring at us, and it's all red. Plus, I think Sindhu also has a flight to catch. So, ladies and gentlemen, I know that this can continue forever, but we really need to stop here. PV Sindhu.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. PV Sindhu and Mr. Prem Panicker. I request Veena Venugopal, Associate Editor, The Hindu, to present mementos to our guests as a token of our appreciation. The memento is a print of the first editorial of The Hindu.